I'm an Arsenal fan, and if there's one thing about being an Arsenal fan, is it's testing, it's been painful. We've had great moments and we've had low moments. Hopefully this year that all changes, but the journey to get here has been tough, really tough. Hi, my name is Jordan, father, nostalgia merchant, and football obsessive. Welcome to my channel. This series is called The Beautiful Game, and it's exactly what it sounds like. Me talking to my son about football, the history, and the culture. So today, we're starting from the very beginning, why I chose Arsenal. So son, before I tell you why I support Arsenal, let me tell you a little bit about what Arsenal is. Because this is not just a football team, it's one of the oldest footballing institutions in the entire history of the sport. In 1886, a Scotsman named David Danskin and 15 fellow munitions workers in Woolwich formed the football club. Each member contributed sixpence. They named themselves after the workshop they worked in, Dial Square, and played their first ever match on the 11th of December 1886, winning 6-0. After that game, they renamed themselves Royal Arsenal. And here's something nobody tells you. The reason Arsenal wear red? It came from a kit donated by Nottingham Forest. Two of the founding members were former Forest players who'd moved to Woolwich for work. They wrote home, asked for help, and Forest sent them a set of shirts. That's where the red comes from. A hand-me-down from another club. 140 years later, we're still wearing it. They moved north to Highbury in 1913. A stadium so beautiful, so iconic, that when they eventually left in 2006, they converted it into luxury apartments rather than demolish it. That's how much it meant. Now, let me tell you about the good stuff, because there is a lot of good stuff. I won't mention everything because we'd be here all day. Arsenal have won 13 league titles and a record 14 FA Cups. No club in history has won an FA Cup more times. And at the time of recording, we're on the cusp of another Champions League final in 20 years and potentially a 14th league title. Fingers crossed we get it over the line, lads. But the real history, it starts with one man, Thierry Henry. Son, I need you to understand something. There are good footballers. There are great footballers. And then there's Thierry Henry in an Arsenal shirt. He joined Arsenal in 1999 and Wenger immediately switched him back to a striker, the position he'd played as a youth, pairing him with the Dutch veteran Dennis Bergkamp. What happened next was something this country has never really seen before. 228 goals for Arsenal. Arsenal's all-time top scorer, 175 of those in the Premier League alone. The 7th most by any player in the Premier League. The pace, the movement, the va-va-voom, the swag. He made it look so effortless. Rival fans gave him standing ovations at away grounds. That's how good he was. Till this day, one of the only men in Arsenal's long history to have a statue outside the stadium. And then came the Invincibles. 2003 to 2004? Arsenal went an entire 38-game Premier League season without losing once. 28 wins, 12 draws, 0 defeats. Champions. And then they kept going. The full unbeaten run stretched to 49 consecutive games across 3 seasons. Henry, Bergkamp, Vieira, Perez, Ashley Cole, Sol Campbell. That squad finished 11 points ahead of second place Chelsea and scored 73 goals while only conceding just 26. That has never been done again in the Premier League era. No club has come close. Liverpool went 27 unbeaten in 2019-20, the closest anyone has got, but still couldn't match it. That season is ours forever and is still highlighted as one of the greatest footballing achievements to date. At this point, if you can't tell, Thierry Henry is the reason why I support Arsenal. There's a saying that football mimics life, and to a degree, it's true, because all great things come to an end. After the Invincibles, Arsenal entered what fans call the banter era. An ambitious project was finally realised when we moved into the Emirates Stadium in 2006, but the price was steep. What followed was 9 years of no trophies, 9 years of near misses, finishing fourth, and most painful of all things, watching our star players, captains, leave to rivals, and to rub salt into the wounds, they win. Cesc Fabregas, gone to Barcelona. Samir Nasri, Manchester City. You had Robin van Persie, our captain at the time, sold to Manchester United. Me personally, Emmanuel Adebayor, going to Manchester City, and that infamous celebration, I could never look at him the same. The harsh reality was, there was no such thing as loyalty anymore in football. And I started to learn harsh lessons. And then there was the question of Arsene Wenger, the greatest manager in Arsenal's history, the man who brought us to the Invincibles, who revolutionised how English football thought about nutrition and technical football. Even he stayed too long. And watching a legend's legacy erode in real time is one of the most painful things a football fan can go through. But here's the thing, son. This is the first real lesson I want to teach you about football. And honestly, about life. Commitment isn't conditional. You don't get to choose what your club gives you. You don't decide when they win and when they break your heart. But what you do get to decide is whether you stay. And let me tell you what staying looks like. The year's 2014, FA Cup final, Arsenal versus Hull City. Hull City, the underdogs, scored twice in the first 8 minutes, 2-0 down before Arsenal had barely touched the ball. The whole country wrote us off. Some of our own fans were already planning the post-mortem. Arsenal came back, Cazorla with a stunning free kick, Koscielny, and then Aaron Ramsey in the 109th minute, a low shot that ended 9 years of hurt. 9 years ended by a comeback from 2-0 down in the FA Cup final. That's Arsenal. That's always been Arsenal. The fans who stayed through all of it, they deserved every second of that moment. Now, right now, son, Arsenal are in the middle of something special. Under Mikel Arteta, a former Arsenal player, who even played in that final, I think. This squad has been rebuilt from scratch. Young, hungry, technically brilliant. Bukayo Saka, a local London kid who came through our own academy, is now one of the best wingers in the world. Martin Odegaard pulling the strings as captain. Declan Rice and Gabriel Saliba, one of the best defenders I've seen in my life, especially in the Emirates era. We have come agonizingly close to the Premier League title. 22-23, we went again 23-24. We're still chasing it. We've come second 3 times in a row. Now, the year 25-26, we're on the cusp of history. But it feels like it's coming, and there's nothing in football quite like that feeling. You might just get to see Arsenal win the league, son. And if you do, I'll make sure you understand exactly what it looks like when we get there. So yeah, that's why I'm an Arsenal fan. Not because it's been easy, but because they're mine. The history is real, the identity is real, the feeling, and even after the heartbreak, it's still absolutely real. This is the beautiful game. A series where I break down everything about football I want my son to grow up knowing. History, culture, business, the beautiful and brutal game. Next episode, we're going back to where it all started. The history of football itself. How a game played in English school fields became the most watched sport on the planet. I'm Jordan, father, nostalgia merchant, and football obsessive. Subscribe. We're just getting started.